Hey, it's Sandra. Welcome to another episode of Asexualise, my asexual life, where I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. So, as you might have gathered, the title of this video is very shocking, and this was a video that I didn't know or I didn't think I would do because I wanted to keep it a secret. I'm being tested on the 8th of August for blood cancer and osteoporosis. And I haven't told barely anyone this. There's only 4 people that I've let know about this. And it's been really stressful and upsetting. And so I think you have a right to know on this channel what's going on with me. I went to the quayside again earlier because I feel that being indoors all the time is really no good for me. It was a shock when I found out these things. So, I went to London recently, yeah? And I went to the aquarium, I went to the Love Life Club thing, and this is going to be a very emotional video, right? Because I'm really upset, as you can see by the title of this video. And I've been keeping my upset away from this channel so as not to alarm you or cause you any upset or distress. But I need to let the truth out about what I'm going through because I'm really, really scared at the moment. And I found out the day before I went to London recently that when my physiotherapist spoke to the spinal care team at the hospital about the 2 back fractures I have, she wrote some stuff on my medical records, which she didn't actually tell me all of them before. And I saw this the day before I went away to London. And so I was in shock, and I saw on this my medical records that they want me to be tested for osteoporosis bone scan, even though my physios told me I'm too young to have osteoporosis. But also myeloma, which is a blood cancer that is got in bone marrow. They want to test me for both of these things. And the reason is because they think the exercise I did whilst I was away, which broke 2 bones in my spine back in April the 28th, they think that that's not normal, that the impact of that exercise shouldn't have warranted me having 2 broken bones in my spine. Therefore, they think that something else has caused this. I've always said it's the exercise that I was given because I twisted around at the waist far more than I expect. Well, I didn't expect to do the exercise anyway. It was totally unexpected. And the people who would do it told us to do the exercise said go as far as you could go. So I stretched myself further than I would normally do anyway. And that's what broke the bones in my back. But they're saying you shouldn't be able to break 2 bones in your spine just by doing that. So they think something else worse is possibly wrong with me. And she told me on the phone that they're worried that I might have a problem with my bone density and that I'd need a blood test and another scan at the hospital. So rather than just the x-ray of my 2 broken 2 broken bones in my back, wedge fractures, she said I'd need a scan, which I found out since there's a DEXA DEXA scan for bone mineral to test my bone density. And they also said about the myeloma, which I didn't know, which is blood cancer. So I was absolutely in shock. And the reason they're doing this is because of the fractures. So I went to see the doctor last week and the physio, and the doctor said that he wants me to have a blood test. Now, the blood tests make me really poorly, and this week I felt really dizzy. I've had low blood pressure. I've had gastric problems again. I don't know if the gastritis thing I had has never really fully gone away, or if it's just the fact I can't sleep very well because I'm so upset about this. I'm worried about the blood test because I can't stand blood or needles. I've got a really big phobia about it. I've said no to the previous 2 blood tests I was asked to do for other reasons. And so I haven't had blood tests until 2019. They need to take 2 lots out of me. My best friend is going to be in my city to come with me to the blood test because usually I can't be on my own with them because the whole room usually goes grey and I nearly pass out on the floor. And so it's not good. So I'm so worried, and the stress is making me worse. It's making the stress of the fact I've got to have a blood test is making me more and more poorly. So, like earlier, I went to the quayside because I feel that getting out of my home just makes me feel better than staying in it. I've been feeling quite alone and down being indoors. So I went out to the quayside, but then I was nearly crying in public. I'm crying now because, I can't, it's hard, I mean, I hope to God, I pray to God that I've got neither one of these. But obviously, osteoporosis is meant to be forever, and you can't recover from it. They can treat it, but they can't recover. Osteoporosis is when you keep breaking bones all the time, which I do not want to have. And I pray I haven't got it. And the physio is like, you're just too young to get that. You shouldn't be having problems with your bones at your age, like that. And obviously, so they can treat it, but you can't cure it. Apart from I have seen one YouTuber doctor that claims he can cure it. How real that is, I don't know. But obviously, if it's blood cancer, it would be like, I wouldn't know. I don't know how long I would have to live if I have that. So, it's really upsetting me. And I haven't wanted to tell you this, child, because I don't want to scare you, because I'm hoping and praying neither of them are correct. The doctor said I don't have symptoms of either of them. So, yeah, but because, the physio said I have had 2 broken bones in the last few years, but that was my left ankle. And I said that was warranted because of the way, what happened with that. I mean, it was a break that rebroke, and I don't think it was fully healed the first time. And so, I've got, obviously my back is getting better actually, but I've still, I still got some pain there. And my ribs, I can just about lie more, well, actually do some lying on my right side now. I still can't lie on my left side. Leo, thank you. So sorry to hear this. It sounds horrible, stressful. It's really stressful, Lee. And I tell everything on this channel usually, but I don't want to alarm people. But I'm just so upset all the time. And I'm trying to distract myself and take my mind off things. And now I've got a fly thing, like a daddy long leg symbol that's over there. I don't like them things either, but yeah, it's really stressful and upsetting, and I can't help but cry. I feel alone, upset, and scared. It's just horrible. It's really horrible. Sorry, there's something flying in my home. I can't stand flying things. It's actually over there like a daddy long legs thing, and I really can't stand them. Do not come near me. Go downstairs. I don't like those things either. The other night I had one similar to that, and I screamed in the middle of the night. Oh my god, I think it's don't come near me. Getting a towel so it doesn't come near me. But yeah, it's really upsetting, and so I haven't wanted to say anything. And then I'm like, but I feel like keeping it in is just making things worse. It's actually making me think about it all the time, and I'm trying not to think about it because I know with law of attraction, for example, some people believe in it, some people don't. What you think about expands. And so by focusing on something, you're drawing it to you, and I don't want that. So I keep trying to not think about it, but it's really hard and scary because every time I try not to think about it, it keeps coming up in my head. The other night, I just couldn't sleep. And I just had the words blood cancer all the time in my head. And it's like, I don't want to be thinking about this. And my mind, like, I keep telling myself, stop thinking about it, stop saying it, stop thinking about it, stop it. But the trouble is, it's not really working. The only thing that really works is going out and trying to distract my mind. But even at the cinema, like, I went to the cinema twice, but even in the morning, it was really hard for me. I was really distracted, like, in my mind about things. So I wasn't totally focused on the animation. I was more like thinking of, of what I've got to have done. It's just super scary, It's like originally when they did my x-ray, it's on my medical records, the doctor who looked at it in my surgery, they said it's abnormal, which was because I had got two broken bones, but they said it was not urgent. And then it's gone from that on my medical records to saying about the myeloma. And it's just, like, so shocking, and the physio didn't tell me about that on the phone, so I found it out myself in my medical records just before I went to London, and I was so upset, and I've been keeping it a secret all this time, but I feel it's better out than in. I feel like keeping it a secret, I'm actually compounding it and making it worse in me, the feeling of it, and if I do that, it's not gonna help. My physiology and my mind and that doesn't do well with holding things in. It actually does better with saying them out loud. It releases it and gets it out of me, if you know what I mean. I don't know how else to describe it. So I was at the cinema tonight, and even though the film was it was more distracting because it was twisted. It was actually better than I thought it was going to be, and I find just being out is just better for me. Keeping it in isn't good. Thank you, Lee. Yeah, it's just been really, really hardcore for me. So when I went to the cinema and saw Twisted, it distracted my mind somewhat. But even then, I was thinking, shall I tell the people on my channel? Shall I announce it on Facebook? Or shall I keep it being a secret? I'm like, you can't let it be secret, Sandra. It's eating away at you. It's making you worse, and it's not doing you any good. It's just making you iller and iller, keeping it a secret. You've never, ever kept anything very much secret from your channel. Of course, I do keep people's information. For people tell me secrets, like my friends, I have to keep that confidential. I don't break their confidentiality. I say only what they want me to share on this channel about them. But usually to do with me personally, I don't I'm repeating myself now, hide these things. I tell the truth, and I've been doing this channel since 2015, and so I thought I have to tell the truth about what's going on behind the scenes, because you'll see me go out, and I do love going out. It's really good for me. It's much better than staying indoors. I find being indoors at the moment is just compounding things. It's actually making me really down, and I don't want to feel down. Sometimes my mindset's really strong and it's like fighting it, going, yes, they're talking a load of rubbish. It's all a load of rubbish. I don't know what they're talking about. I don't know where they get these ideas from. I've told them it's the exercise. They just won't accept it. I said, so if I do the blood test, I got a blood and urine test, but I've also got to go for the scan as well. But the blood test and urine test is on the 8th and of August. So it's next week now. But the waiting is horrible as well for the test, and then obviously I'll have to wait to get the results. I have booked myself a treat for the following week as a treat for myself for doing the blood test, as something to look forward to, because you've got to kind of reward yourself for these things. So I thought it was good to share some of the stuff I'm trying to do to help to try to help myself on this channel. I know it's not the wonderful optimistic videos I really usually love to do, and it's not the educational video you probably thought you'd get when I did this video tonight, but I needed to get it out, you know. I needed to tell the truth. I needed to not keep it a secret anymore, because it's eating away at me, and it's just making it compounded, and it's making it worse. And I think that's just, again, for me, a law of attraction thing, is when you compound negative things inwards and you don't actually let it out, then it actually, again, is attracting things you don't want. So I would rather put it out there now. I've thought about it, and I didn't want it all over the internet at first, because I thought I don't want to alarm people, because hopefully it's wrong. Both of them are wrong, and I haven't got either of them. But the fact of the matter is, I am being tested for them, and it's causing me a lot of upset. And, you know, I'm thinking, you know, like, I hope to God I haven't got either of them. If obviously I've got one of them, even if I've got one of them, it's not going to be good. If I've got the blood cancer thing, then that would just be devastating, because I wouldn't know how long I'd have to live. And so obviously now it's like, you know, I don't know, do I? I don't know when I'm sat here if I'm absolutely fine in that regard and I haven't got anything to worry about, or if, like, my life is going to be short. So it's really hard for me. It's like staring possibly death in the face or something like that, you know? And it's so hard. And I like to be positive and upbeat. I don't like giving miserable or difficult information like this. And I don't want to cause people any upset. But at the end of the day, I don't want to go through this on my own anymore. I'm not totally on my own. I mean, my best friend does know, and they are coming to the blood test with me. But, you know what I mean? A lot of the time, I'm just, like, not talking about it with anyone. And it's just making it worse. I find it hard to have the emotion, you know, with my emotions by myself. Like, I find it hard. It's like one of the toughest times ever in my life. And the physio, I said to the physio, like, why didn't you tell me about this? You told me about the bone scan and the blood test, but you didn't tell me about the blood cancer thing. She said, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't want to worry you. I'm like, well, I saw that on my medical records before I went to London. And although I enjoyed my time in London, I didn't have as good a time as I could have done, because it was a complete shock to me. And especially, you know, after the aquarium, it was really tough. Yeah, but going around the aquarium is hard. And yes, it's hard because obviously not knowing whether you've got either of those things, like, if you haven't, I'm hoping that I have a long, long time to live. But say I didn't, you know, like, I never know, like, how long I would be here. So it's like, you know, like, it's like, well, is that the last time I'm going to see that person, or is this the last time I'm going to be in this position, or is this how many months or years or whatever would I have left? Do you know what I mean? It's just really weird, and it's just very daunting, and it's very upsetting for me, because, you know, like, I'm hoping that I'm completely clear of that and I don't actually have the symptoms of it at all. And they said if I've got either of them, it's more likely to be the osteoporosis. But sorry, there's a daddy longlegs thing near me. It's freaking me out. Will you please just go away, because I'm not having you near me. I hate those things. And so, yeah, it's just really horrible, because it's like, when I walk places, it's like, well, I don't know if I'm gonna, like, I don't know if I don't know how long I'm gonna live for. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. I'm hoping that I want to live to be over 100. So I'm hoping I haven't got that. It'd be absolutely devastating if I got that. But the fact I'm even being tested for it is flaming scary. And so, you know, I'm trying to help myself by trying to think that it's a load of rubbish, and as I don't have the symptoms, it's not likely. The physio thinks if it's one of the two, it's more likely to be osteoporosis, but even if it is that, it's really bad. It's not as bad as the other thing, but it's still really bad, because it means you just break your bones all the time, and then you can end up breaking your hip, and then you can end up like having surgery and all that load of rubbish, and not, just not being able to do much for yourself and stuff. It's just really bad. And I hope, and they said that I shouldn't be having that at my age. Like, it's older people who usually get that, although some people have told me anyone can get it at any age. I don't like that daddy long legs. Will you go away? Sorry, you can't see it from here, but there is a daddy long legs in the room. I'm like, stay away. It's currently going up the wall over there. And so yeah, it's just really upsetting because I don't know, do I? So I'm trying to help myself by going out. I find going out's helpful because it does distract my mind, and it does help me think of other things. And I'm thinking it's going to cost you a fortune this month if you carry on like going out a lot, but I find it really helps me. Like, I find that it helps me to be somewhat distracted and think about other things. When I stay indoors all the time, I'm just like, it's just compounded. It's just making things worse. So I feel like I should be out every day until my blood test or something. I think that's probably a bit overdoing it, but I don't know. It would cost a lot of money to do that, but then when I went to the quayside earlier, I was nearly in tears in the quayside, because it's like I just don't know what to do. I feel like I don't know what to do with myself. So I feel like, I don't know what the outcome's going to be. I hope I've got neither. If I've got either one of them, it's not going to be good. Obviously, if I've got the one that causes death, that's just going to be terrible. And I don't know what's going to happen, do I? And I'm scared about needles. I'm scared about them taking blood out of me. I think I've only ever usually had one lot of blood taken out of me, not two. I've got a real phobia of needles and blood, so I'm getting dizzy. I mentioned this, I think, at the beginning of this video. I get dizzy sometimes, like low blood pressure. I got gastric problems, and I think it's the stress that's making that worse. So the stress of actually having the blood test is adding to my feelings of not being very well. And I said this to the doctor, that I really don't want a blood test. Is there anything else you can do? And he said, no. I said, can't you do a urine test? And he said, no, because I've been told you can do a urine test for osteoporosis. And it was really annoying because he's like, no, you have a blood test, or we don't, you don't know, basically. He said, but you haven't got the symptoms either, so I'm not going to force you because you say it makes you ill. It does make me really ill. I have a serious phobia. And anyway, at the very, very end of the consultation, he gave me a urine bottle going, oh, you'll need to bring a urine sample as well. And so I really was pissed off, excuse my language, because I was thinking, you told me you couldn't do it by a urine sample. But yet now you're handing me a bottle for a urine sample saying I have to bring that as well. Could they give you some sedation for the blood test? No, they don't offer anything like that. I did get I don't think, I mean, I'm allergic to a lot of medications anyway. They did my best friend is coming with me, which should help, but they did well, one of the blood tests I previously refused, not when I knew about this stuff. Oh my god, I can see the daddy long legs. Where is it? I can see it around the back of me. Oh my god, sorry, I don't know if you can see that, but it's around the back there. Can you see it? It's like, go away, it's on my wall. Sorry about this. Just don't, I really can't stand the things. You're really annoying me. Do not come near me because I've got a towel and I will use it. I can't stand these things. You're seeing a really weird view of me now. And me pinky. Don't come near me. Can't believe he's in my bed. Can you just go out the door? Go out the door. I don't want you near my bed. This is like really bad. Yes, go out the door. Out the door. Out the door. Out there. Oh my God, he's not even listening to me. You probably haven't ever had anyone talking to daddy long legs like this before, have you? Go away. Oh my God. I've got a towel, which now I was trying to get him to go out the door. Go out the door. Oh my God, it's not going to work. You're seeing a live thing. Now it's just got worse. Now it's decided to land in my head over my. Oh my God. I'm moving around on my bed. Now it's decided to go near my curtains and stay there. Right. I can see this shadow of it. Oh my God. I really can't stand daddy long leg stuff. Oh, well, at least that was some distraction. Thank you for the distraction. But at least that's the only thing I can laugh about. So, you've got to laugh at some things. Otherwise, if you don't laugh, you'd be crying all the time. I have a younger sister, so yeah, I've heard someone react to daddy long legs that way. Yeah, I had this thing the other day. I think it was 2 nights ago, and I went, ah! And I thought, oh my God, they probably think I've been attacked in my flat or something. I really can't stand the things. So anyway, what was I saying? So I was saying, so I was saying that I've been trying to help myself by saying stuff to myself like it's absolutely ridiculous that the doctor and physios even suggesting this. I did an exercise. That's what caused it, because it was perfectly fine 2 days before. I was hanging upside down on a roller coaster at Chessington World of Adventures. If I was really, really bad, then surely I wouldn't have been able to do that if I had something wrong with my bones. The blood cancer thing, by the way, specifically to do with the bone marrow, that's what I'm going to be tested for. The type of cancer it is. It's a blood cancer and found in blood cancer of the bone marrow. So that's what I'm being tested for. The osteoporosis and blood cancer of the bone marrow. So I really hope it comes back negative in both, but I am really scared, because I didn't expect this. It's how could I be on the 26th of April, upside down roller coasters, Chessington World of Adventures, having the time of my life, thinking this is great. Although I was trying to get over my ex at that point. So I would say it wasn't completely 100% time of my life, because I was having some, I was still getting over my ex at the time. But in general, I was really enjoying myself. And then I'd booked to go to the Success Resources event, which is where the injury occurred. But it was a 2-day event on the 27th and 28th of April. And I was fine on the 27th, and we were jumping up and down. It's very Americanified, so you jump up and down and clap and go woo, woo, woo. And I was fine that day. And then on the Sunday, we were doing that as well. And then they asked us to do this exercise where you literally twist right round at the waist as far as you can go. And I believe it's an exercise in mindset where they're getting you to go beyond what you think you can do in order to show yourself that you're limitless. It's quite there's quite a lot of techniques that they were doing, neuro-linguistic programming techniques, and putting you in types of states. And so when they said, they go, oh, get your arm and twist as far as you could go. And I'm not going to do it because I don't want to break any more bones, but, go all the way round. But I want you to twist as far as you can go. And as far as I understand, it was one of those mindset things where it's push through your limits, boundaries and fears, and you can achieve more than you think you can do. Well, I certainly didn't expect to break bones. And so I did that exercise, and then after that, and I started to jump up and down again. I'm like, I can't jump up and down anymore. I'm in such horrendous pain. But it wasn't as bad until I got back to the hotel, because the adrenaline's rushing there. It's one of those atmospheres where you're crowds jumping up and down, everyone's cheering, everyone's on high. They're on a natural feel-good chemical high. So that kind of masks some of the pain. And so I didn't notice as much pain until I got back to the hotel that night. I was absolute agony. I could barely even lie on the bed. It was squirming on the bed, and I was in so much pain. I did actually still stay in London then and the next day I went to the aquarium, and you probably wouldn't know how much pain I was in, because I did say on a shorts, I think it was a shorts video, I'm going to the aquarium now, but I didn't sleep well last night because I was in some pain with my back. But that was like, putting it mildly, I was in horrendous pain. I didn't leave the hotel till, I didn't vacate my room till nearly spot on midday, which is a Premier Inn. You can't leave the Premier Inn till spot on, till midday based. You can leave the Premier Inn before midday, but you can't leave it later than midday. So yeah, and then I went to aquarium in agony, and I went back home on the train to Exeter in agony. And then I got back on the 30th of April. And then the next day, on the 1st of May, I went to the walk-in centre, and that's when I was misdiagnosed with a muscle strain. That's what I was misdiagnosed with. But on my medical records, it just says musculoskeletal pain or something. And then I went to see, and then a person I saw, I thought it was really serious, but they just said it's a muscle strain. I'm like, well, why do I feel dizzy? I can barely bend down. Oh, they always do that, says Lee. So when I was in the shower, I could barely bend down. I've still got problem bending, but not as much anymore. But